So hey, what's going on? Scruggs here. Been piddling with the boat a little bit. Hoping go out on the lake tomorrow. Well, I should say the reservoir tomorrow. We've had nothing but rain here the past week, and of course I've had some issues with my shoulder. Not my back this time, but this shoulder had been giving me a fit, and but I tried a couple of different things with some camera angles, and I really didn't like what I was seeing. And I'll put those up in a little bit as to how they look and what they did, and or what I did. And I think I'm just going to stick with the camera on the hat. I ended up buying a battery pack. I don't have it out right now, but I've only used it as far as just testing it out to see how long it would record and if it was any problems, if the camera got hot and that kind of thing. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. So I got me a longer cord, so what I can do is run it down and I can just stick it in my shirt pocket. Of course, I always wear a shirt with a pocket on it. And I think I'm going to go that route. I think I just like where I had it mounted on the back of the seat. It's just too stiff. The frame, it's like. And I know with the hat, you're constantly doing this and this and this, and it's kind of, it can get a little drunky at times. I call it drunky, but. I think I just didn't like the angle, so I think I'm just going to keep the hat. And I tried raising the one in the front, and that didn't work out, and I've got a video of that too. So, and then I had an issue with the trailer, and I'll include that because that's another modification that I did on a modification of a modification. So yeah, just stick around for what I did, and hopefully we'll get some footage out on the water here real soon. Appreciate you watching. So I made this little pole extension for my front camera to get it up a little bit, but I got a feeling I'm gonna run into a little problem here. This thing's kind of flimsy, and I think it's going to shake a lot on the water. So I might end up doing away with this and going back to the upward shot that I had before and just not even worrying with this. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll have to try it and see when I get on the water, see how it does. And it looks to me like it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know. Yep, I don't know. That might be a fail, everybody, but we'll see how it does. I don't know. We'll get it out on the water. This is the only piece between the two, so if I wanted to make it short again, all I have to do is just screw that in the bottom of that and then attach it down there, and I can have it like it was before. Which the upper shot might be, that might be all I need. Yeah, I got a feeling that's not going to work. Yeah. Alright, well, that kind of killed that idea. So I got me some more of these broom clamps here that I have on these oars. Put them on the back of my seat there. And there's my monopod that Earl gave me. Of course, I'm gonna have to adjust, once I sit in the seat and figure out everything, but I think it's gonna be pretty sturdy. We'll have to play it by ear and see how it does, but that's kind of my game plan anyway. And I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. And of course I've got that new battery. I can take that and zip tie it, or I've got little tiny bungee cords. I can bungee it to this and just run the wire straight up to that. So we'll see how that pans out. Of course, I'll take it off in transportation, but yeah, we'll see how that works next time we go out. I don't think that front one's gonna work though. I think that's just gonna be too shaky. I guess I'll try it and see how it turns out the next time I go out by myself. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at so far. I got the chargers on the batteries. I'll tell you what though, this battery charger over here, maybe it's because I'm running it on an extension cord. I don't remember this charger getting this hot. This thing is so hot I can barely touch it. I mean, I can hold it, but not for long. It's I hope it doesn't melt my boat. Maybe it's because it's on an extension cord, but that's the only thing I got. You know, unless I take it in the house and charge it, and I kind of want to keep the battery where it's at. I don't want to have to keep lifting it in and out. So I've charged it once before out here, and I swear I don't remember it getting as hot as it is. So I don't know, but it's still red. So I think we got a little ways to go. I think it takes about 6 hours, I think, to charge that up. It's about 50%, which we're at 46. So, alrighty, I'm gonna continue on with my day. Need to run some errands. When I get back, I'm gonna try to hook the boat up and see if I can adjust the camera on that thing. The sun's coming out, so I need to cut my neighbor's field across the street. I'm gonna probably try to do that this evening. So, yeah. Alrighty. So I want to show you all a little problem I ran into the other day. Notice something missing? I guess this end, when it was on the trailer, it vibrated out. So I had to go buy me another one. And this is what I ended up doing. I got the new one over here. I did both of these the same way. This is probably let's see here. I got me a new one, and I got me, this is a right-handed nut in a lock washer. So I stuck that in there. Now I couldn't find it any of my hardware stores a left-handed thread, because this is a left-handed thread, so that, you know, you can adjust it in and out. So what I ended up doing was I ended up drilling a hole, putting a push pin in it, so that'll keep it from vibrating loose and losing it again. I guess I was pretty lucky. So yeah, another modification for modification for modification, because you remember the last ones I had to weld these here because they were stretching. So yeah, that's something to think about if you choose to do the mod on this boat. Well, not the boat, but the trailer, to keep the tailgate lifted while you're driving it down the road. So yeah, and you can see better on this one what I did. Yeah, so it works out good. I ain't got to worry about that. So yeah, just a couple of things that I've been doing. hopefully gonna go fishing tomorrow or this week, but that remains to be seen. So that's kind of what I, was seeing and came up with, and let me know your thoughts on, I've seen a couple of guys, and I've kind of tried to figure out where they're putting their stuff, and I don't know. I think the hat thing is just more me than staring at the back of my hat. And I think you just get closer, to the fish with the hat than you do with it being behind me up here like this. You only get that wide angle. I don't know. Your thoughts. Tell me what you think. I mean, leave it in a comment. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with putting it on the hat and just running the cord. So. The other thing that I did was I decided at this time, till I actually used the batteries more, I swapped the lithium battery. I actually put the lithium battery in the front of the boat, and I put the lead acid. At this time, I'm going to keep the lead acid. I'm going to put that at the rear of the boat because of this issue of not being able to run full throttle on the trolling motors. I just feel like that, some places we go, it takes a while to get there, and not being able to run on 5-speed is not an option. So, being as that the Pexmore is a 55 thrust, I'm going to put that at the back where it's always been, and I'm just going to run that off of the lead acid battery, and then the front motor is going to run off of the Minn Kota, and we'll just run that one at at 4-speed when we have to. We won't run that one on 5. But the Pexmore is such a huge difference in speed 4 and 5. I have to have that 5-speed. So I had to rewire the boat, and what my game plan is just in case I end up using the whole lead acid battery, I can just unhook it and hook it into the lithium, and because that boat's wired front to rear, and then I could just run the lithium, or I could change whenever I wanted and then just go back and forth. It might not be as bad on the lake or on the reservoir running 4-speed with both motors. I didn't do that last time I went. I just used the battery on the one Pexmore. I didn't use the front motor at all, the Minn Kota, and I was out there pretty much I think it was 3.5 hours, and I ran the battery down to, well, I didn't run the battery down that far. I think I still had like 70-some percent, so I don't know. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm keeping one lead acid in the boat, and we're just gonna see how it does, But yeah, it's a shame that you can't run brushed motor at full throttle, according to Minn Kota. I never heard anything from Pexmore. Their service pretty much sucks. So, but I'm not gonna take a chance because I'm a poor guy. Some people were saying, "Oh, we'll just buy another motor." Well, it's only $150. Well, $150 to me is a lot of money. So I can't afford to take a chance. I'll just keep a lead acid in until I find out that, I don't know. Guy that I've subscribed to, he he did a test after, me bringing it to his attention, and he ran his 30, I think it's a 30 thrust in a trash can full of water, and I think it ran for 3.5 hours on 5. Never had any issues with it, so I don't know. Still, that's about $130. I think those 30 Minn Kotas are $130 now. I paid $100 for mine years ago. So I don't know. I'm just kind of sticking with that plan. So, yep, that's what I'm doing. Appreciate you watching. Keep on fishing.